What's up, team? It is a big week for us. It is Preach Off Week, and I have a few fun announcements to kick us off this week that I don't want you to miss. And so I hope you are ready for the fun and excitement that comes with Preach Off. I talk a little bit about the why in the app video update. You don't have to watch that, but if people get a little frustrated as to why the commercials and why the humor and why do we poke fun at each other within a reasonable way, I outlined some of that. And here's the truth. There are going to be people at our church that send me notes like this that basically say, don't you know we're living in the end times? Tribulation is near. Why are you not talking about this all the time? The book of Revelation should be our focus now, which is great. That's where they're at in their spiritual journey. And so I can respectfully disagree. We talked about it last October, November, or last August. See, I can't even remember that far back. But my point is, not everybody's going to love every aspect of the Preach Off. And when you take risks, typically you get people who don't like the risks that you take. And so I know I have become more used to that, but it still stings a little when somebody doesn't seem to like whatever it is that we're doing. And so coming into the weekend, ready and excited to serve and energized and with our tanks full will be really important. Second thing that I want to make you aware of is you may hear of a pilot group around something called Your Journey. And so if you're wondering what that is or hear whispers about that, several years ago, we talked about replacing something that we have called missional membership, which was the highest level of commitment to Cedar Creek, or really to following Jesus. And we have had groups of people, some of you, seated around tables, helping us dream about what we could do, if anything, to replace that. And we felt that ongoing need to help give people who go through Growth Track and join our dream team a picture or a resource that help them step into more of the life-changing adventure with him. And we've iterated on that. We've had different things come up and COVID and all of this stuff. And so many of you have helped serve in some way, speaking into what we are now prepared to pilot, that we will later be rolling out with some dream team members, that we will hopefully be introducing phase 1 of Your Journey to our church. And the big picture of this is we want to help people understand what it means to follow Jesus, to be a follower of him in every domain of your life. Jesus has truths to teach us that he wants us to live from in every domain of our life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, physically, financially, vocationally, what you do with your time during the week, and ecclesiologically, which is the church. And so we are going to create a 7-part teaching with a framework or an assessment, if you will, to help you gauge where you're at in understanding that truth and living it out. And it will be something that we will call people to review every year. The goal would be that we invite people to go all in, to commit to being a follower of Jesus, fully committed to him. And I know not everybody's going to be ready to make that commitment. But for those that are ready, and for anybody in a leadership position, this is going to be you could say a requirement. If we're going to be in a position of influence, we first want to be influenced by our rabbi, our teacher, our Savior, and our Lord. And so we're going to begin rolling this out as a pilot. And here's what I love, why this is so significant, is because this has been a work in progress for years. And sometimes good ideas take time in order to develop properly. So if you feel like you are in your development cycle and you're not where you want to be yet and you're frustrated and you should be further faster, I get that feeling. But also human size your expectations and know that better together, celebrating progress and taking growth personally is the long game, not just a short sprint. One of the things I told our leadership team and our staff when I first became lead pastor is that I may not be a super sprinter when it comes to leadership, always rapid fire decisions. I mean, yes, sometimes I do that, but I am a marathon runner. I can run for days. And that is one of the approaches to leadership that I bring, is that we're going to keep working at things, even if it feels like we're walking or not going as fast as we want, but we're going to keep moving things forward, and you all have been a part of that. So I didn't want you to be caught off guard about that whenever you hear about it. It'll be rolling out over the next 6 months, and then we'll iterate on it again. So something to look forward to. Next, we have a staff Christmas party next week, next Tuesday. So we won't have staff meeting. Instead, we'll be joining or meeting each other at Reset at about 4 o'clock. I know we have backup taping that day, so I might be a little delayed in getting over there. But the goal is really for us just to relax, have a little bit of fun together. It's after Preach Off, and it's our way of saying thanks. A small thank you for all of the work that you've done. And I'm excited about that. So look forward to that next Tuesday. And then we kick off. I told you I got a lot of announcements. Then we kick off. I said this, you heard that. I am currently going through the content that I shared 3-4 years ago when we ran it in February of 2021. I went back and I looked at the physical attendance. Do you know how many people were in physical attendance on average in February, including the Preach Off in 2021? 2,400 people across all of our campuses. We had about 6,000 when you include the online attendance. But this series is going to be so valuable for the people that have joined the adventure, and even the people who have seen it before. If you're wondering so far about our staff makeup, what color do you think is the highest color? If you said yellow, you would be correct. 34% of our staff is yellow. 5% of our staff is red, 22% of our staff is green, and 22% is blue, and about 20% is green. But we still are missing some of you having that in rock. So if you have questions about that, talk to your supervisor. We'd love to get that in rock. If you're wondering what the number one color is on our campus teams, can you guess? Yeah, it's almost double every other color. It's yellow. Like almost 50% of our campus staff, their number one color is yellow, which makes sense. You love to be around people. If you were to venture a guess on our central staff what the number one color is, it would be pretty even across the board, 8 to 10 range, but the highest is blue. So if you think about putting people in their sweet spot, doesn't that make sense? We want our most people-y oriented leaders with people, and we want our more detailed leaders working on some of the systems and strategies that help make our campus grow. I mean, isn't that the goal of Better Together? Helping people find their right seats and not getting caught up in the ego of title and position and all of that stuff. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me too. But that's what I love about the culture that we're creating together. And so thanks for leaning into that. And we'll have other tidbits along the way. But I hope you encourage people to take the assessment as we get closer to that series. I think it's going to be beneficial. And I think some of you may have noticed that I am wearing a Cleveland jersey. This is the Cleveland Buckeyes jersey. It is, we are a week away from pitchers and catchers starting spring training, which I know not a lot of you care about, but go, I was going to say Indians, Guardians. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a Cleveland Buckeyes jersey, it's because it's Black History Month. And no, I'm not trying to make some political statement, so don't go that route. It was over 5 years ago when I learned from some of my African-American friends the significance of this month. And really, we should be open to learning all year round, but I thought I was looking for vintage Cleveland jerseys last year when the Indians or the Guardians were making a run in the playoffs. And I saw this style and I loved it. And what this jersey represents is the world champion, I don't know if you can see this, African-American League world champion in 1945, which was a couple years before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. This jersey is for Quincy Troop. He was the catcher and the manager for the world champion team. But if you think about it, in 1945 to 1950, baseball was segregated. I mean, that wasn't that long ago. And now we continue to make progress, though we're not where we need to be yet, in bringing our diverse culture together. And it is one of the things that makes the United States so special, so unique, and at the same time challenging. And so I don't know where or what you can spend a little bit of time learning about, but one of the things that I'm continued to be challenged by is who are the preachers that don't have the same skin color or ethnic background that I do. Who are they that I'm learning from? Whatever culture, whatever background. Who are the authors? Who are the leaders that are inspiring me? And I think it's valuable to make sure that we are looking beyond people that look like us in order to get a more broader view of what it means to be a part of God's family, where every nation and every tribe will be gathered around the throne of Christ, worshiping and honoring him. And I think the more and more our church continues to look like heaven, the more we will experience and be responsive to God here on earth. And so that's my encouragement to you today. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you at the Preach Off. I know which team you're voting for. So can't wait to carry that trophy off the stage at the end of the weekend. Boom.